Welcome to Influencers on the Run. My name is Hamidu Williams, and today we have a new co-host, Miss Sezab, and we have a special guest today on our show, known to the TikTok world by MixedNaz, a funny guy who is known for his dark humor as his main content. Okay, we want to welcome you to the show, brother man. How are you?
Thank you for having me on. I'm good, man. How are you guys?
We're
Oh, we're
we're
doing great. Good. How's Ramadan so far?
It's going well. It's going well. It's gone by so fast. Like we're almost at Eid already. It's crazy. Probably the fastest Ramadan of my life, to be honest.
It-
wow,
It's insane. Insane.
wow, wow, man, that's the fastest. Man, that's the fastest. So,
All right.
tell us about your day. What's been going on so far with you? What you've been up to?
My day, I woke up. I woke up at like 10 a.m. today, and until like 6 p.m. I was just editing my YouTube video because I just started my YouTube channel now and made my
Okay.
first video. I just did a Q&A, something basic, because for the longest time I wanted to just make my YouTube channel and I wanted to start something so creative, so original, and I couldn't think of anything, so I just did a Q&A. Kept it simple. Everyone's done it. I just put like a poll on my Instagram. I said, ask me questions, and like that's it.
Listen, you're gonna come to my house and you're gonna slap me because I didn't subscribe. Okay.
I mean, I
Okay.
did. I
Okay.
did. See, I'm gonna give
Okay.
you that
Thank you.
screenshot.
Okay. So we
Thank you.
just
See,
saw it.
we have a true fan here. I appreciate you. Thank
You
you.
know.
I don't know about you, bro, but I appreciate
Hey,
your
hey,
help.
hey! Listen, I'm waiting for you to come to my house and slap me. Okay, I'm waiting. You know what I'm saying? I'm waiting.
Hey, you
So
watched it. You watched it.
So when I text you, Cezab was like, "Yo, he just released a video." So we went and we watched the video. Okay,
Yeah,
Okay.
just right
we
now.
so it
Thank
was
you. What do you
definitely
think of it?
it was good. It was good editing. Editing. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm
Thank you.
saying?
Thank you.
All right.
I only learned yesterday how to use Adobe Premiere, so that was the first time for me.
Okay, Adobe Premiere guy,
That's dope.
Final
Matt's,
Cut
Matt's
Pro.
taking notes. Taking
Yeah,
Okay,
notes.
yeah.
okay,
Already, already.
okay, 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 okay.
All right. So, since we're going to be talking here about your TikTok, I want to know, since your brother is the one who's inspired you to start your account, right? So, what was the
Yeah.
learning curve like when you were creating your account? What did you expect? Like, what was the learning curves? What was the obstacles? When creating your TikTok.
Yeah, honestly, my brother told me, listen, just post videos and it is ridiculously easy to get views because he made a video. I can't even remember what the video was. It was so basic and it was like, it wasn't even that funny, but he got 8,000 views. And for us, like, that's crazy. 8,000 views. I mean, before I would make YouTube videos that would get 50 views, 100 views, and my mind would be
Right.
blown. So now I'm
Right.
hearing 8,000. I'm like, that's impossible. Your first video got 8,000 views. So I was like, okay, I'm going to try and make videos as well. Hopefully I can get thousands as well. But honestly, I didn't really have any expectations. And I definitely didn't think that I would go on to have like any more than a few hundred followers. I just wanted to make videos and see if I could just get views from it because it was just fun. Like that was it for me.
Right, right. I mean, we weren't really expecting what were we going ourselves into.
Yeah.
Honestly, most of us were either results of quarantine or just results of boredom. So what was the
Yeah.
your results of creating your account, other than
Yeah.
your brother.
Yeah. I think if COVID didn't happen, I don't think I would be like, I probably wouldn't be making TikToks right now because I mean, I think I had like 10,000 followers when like COVID hit, which is a pretty good amount anyway. Like that's a nice amount for someone who never expected to get any followers anyway. But it wasn't even close to being like famous or anything like that. So
Right,
I just made one video a day, like in February 2020, and I just like, let it grow. And then COVID hit, and suddenly I couldn't go out anymore. In my country, Saudi Arabia, where I live now, there was a curfew. We couldn't go out past like 6 p.m., couldn't see my friends, couldn't do anything. So suddenly, my phone was like everything. I was on the internet all day. So
yeah,
I went from making one TikTok a day to making five, to making like
right.
six on some days. And I would just do nothing but make videos all day to the point where suddenly my follower count went from 10,000, 20,000, 40,000, all the way to like 100K. And in that time, I probably left my house like 2 or 3 times, like max. So
Trust
there
me,
was a
we
time
can
when,
all relate to that,
yeah,
honestly.
just
Right.
quarantine just locked us up.
So I want to get to the behind the scenes of your TikToks. Okay. Now we know you've made lots of content. Cezab and everybody in Saudi Arabia is a big fan of your content. But I want to talk about some of the trials and tribulations of making those TikToks and what you went through and what was the learning curve in making TikToks.
Learning curve was, I think, kind of understanding one, the cultural difference in terms of joking and like just like social cues. So I have like a British sense of humor. I grew up watching British movies, TV shows. My dad's British, so I have a sense of humor that's slightly different to people who live in Saudi and the UAE and the Middle East. So I would make certain jokes, and either people wouldn't get them, or they just like would need me to explain it, and then that would ruin the joke. So I kind of realized there are certain jokes that people just simply won't understand. So I have to kind of like adapt my comedy and my videos to my audience. Kind of realizing that even though I'm British, I probably have out of 430,000 followers, maybe 10,000 of them are British. So I got to adapt to people who are watching my content, people
Right.
from the Middle East. So I make a lot of jokes about Arab parents, about living in Saudi, things people can relate to. So that was a big learning curve, learning that who am I making content for, and then kind of change my content so that they can relate to it and that people would enjoy it more that way.
Got you. When you said, I'm saying, learning who to make the content for, let's talk about your audience because in the what was the name of that pod? In the MYM podcast, okay, you
Yeah.
mentioned having a big, huge Egyptian audience. So let's talk about how were you able to use the analytics of your TikToks to understand your audience and where your audience are from. Let's go into your audience in general. Who are your audience
My
from your
audience in general, if I look into my analytics, it says it's split, like basically 52% male, 48% female. But I think it's mostly men, to be honest. I think it's mostly like teenage boys that I appeal to. So that's definitely my audience. Even though my analytics says half of them are female, I think that it's mainly just the guys who I really appeal to. I'm not sure if it's my way of joking or just how I look. Maybe the girls don't want to follow me. I don't know, but it's just a lot of guys. And I think that kind of like that does influence the content a bit because I'm aware that sometimes I make a video knowing that it's mostly guys watching it, so I want to make sure that my influence isn't something that's negative, if that makes sense. You know?
Right. Yeah. And do you have like a constant engagement with your followers or fans, via Instagram,
Yes.
TikTok, I
Yeah.
see
Yeah.
you, on your Q&A, you always reply to your fans. So is that a regular
Yeah.
thing or yeah?
Yeah, definitely. I think communication with my supporters is very important to me. I opened up a Snapchat recently. I try to reply to most DMs. I try to reply to a lot of comments. I know that the bigger my following gets, the harder it is to reply to everyone. When I first started, I had like 500 followers on Instagram. I would reply to every single DM because
Wow.
someone takes the time to actually reach out to me and say, "Hey, I love your content. Hey, how's your day going?" Whatever it is, someone took the time to message me, and I love replying to as many people as I can. Unfortunately, the bigger I get, the harder it is to do that. There are many people who, unfortunately, if they look at my DMs now, I'm not able to reply to them like compared to before because there's just so
Sure.
many more now. But despite that, I try my best to reply to as many people as possible. Honestly, when I come across some TikTokers and in the comment section they haven't replied to anyone, I get kind of bad vibes from that because I feel like they don't
Mhm.
appreciate the supporters as much. So I
Mm,
try to go against that.
I feel you. I feel you on that. Now let's go back to analytics. Okay. How
Okay.
important is understanding your analytics and then going over to creating content?
It's important because like at the end of the day, whether or not your content gets views is based on if people connect to it, if they can relate to it, if they find it funny, it's all about watch time as well. If you make a video that's 30 seconds long, straight away people aren't interested in the first 5 seconds, they scroll on. The algorithm, it won't treat your video well. You won't get views. So if you understand that your audience is, for example, mostly people of a certain age, you have to make content that would appeal to people of that age. Otherwise, you're not going to get that many views. So sorry, my bird keeps making noise.
No problem. Your bird is lit. Keep that bird up. Tell him I said what's up. Tell him the viewers love that bird. You know
What's up,
what
Smiley?
I'm saying?
Yeah, if I pet
Oh,
her, she shuts up. But like,
we've
if I
seen him in a
talk,
couple of
she's
that TikToks.
yeah. I have
Yeah.
three. I've got this one and two budgies. Sorry, I got distracted there. So what I'm saying is like your content will get views if it connects to people, and it won't connect to people if it's like made for the wrong audience. So know your audience, and then you can make content that appeals to them. That'll give you views.
Absolutely. But like for example, what I want to know is like, okay, so like in the last, let's say the last week, when you go on, what is your analytic telling you like these days in the last week? And like how when you go on, what are you reading? What are you looking for? And what have you learned in the last week of looking at your analytics?
Last week of analytics, in terms of, do you mean like in terms of my demographic or in terms of like my views?
in terms of everything that TikTok gives you for analytics, whether it's age,
Mm.
views, watch time, everything they give you that tells you about everything. What do they give
Yeah.
you, by the way? Actually, let's first. What does TikTok analytics look like for those who may not
Sure.
know?
Let me show you guys. But basically, they show me views, how many comments I get a day, how many shares I get a day, how many followers I get a day. It's basically almost everything that I need to know. TikTok tells me. They even have like a little graph, so I can see here my views. They're fairly consistent. Some days
Okay.
they're really low, some days they're really high. So my analytics, they kind of tell me, okay, so this week I posted content about this, and that. Views were kind of low. Let me try something else, or maybe the time that I posted, I tried a new posting time, didn't really get many views. Let me try something else. So I definitely do keep an eye on my analytics. I check them every single day, and it does influence my content to an extent. But on the other hand, I do try to kind of like not focus on numbers too much, because there was a time where my account basically died. It just stalled. I was on 200K for I think 3 or 4 months, like not even above 220K. I was just stuck on like 200K. And that definitely affected me mentally, because I went from having thousands and thousands and thousands of comments a day, like likes, everything, to suddenly having, next to nothing. So I learned from that experience that if you focus on numbers too much, to the point where like you only do it for the numbers, you kind of end up putting your self-worth into the numbers. And before you know it, you end up feeling depressed because you're not getting views anymore, which is a very dangerous place to be. So I do focus on analytics, but at the same time, I do try to put in the back of my mind and focus on the content as well.
Right, right. And let me ask you this. So what type of contents do you get the more engaging, from your fans? So what kind, yeah. So let's talk about
Collaborations.
your collaborations. Yeah. And who has
Collaborations.
been your favorite collaborator so far? Who has
I
you
think it
worked with?
would have to be the shawarma guy, my
Oh,
dad.
the
That's
shawarma guy. We love the shawarma guy. Let me tell you this. We
we,
love the shawarma guy.
I think we all love the shawarma guy.
I don't
So honestly,
Right.
I don't know who the shawarma guy is. So educate me and the audience who's
oh
the shawarma guy.
wow, you don't know the
Wow.
shawarma guy?
It's
Wow.
you want to break it down for
Okay,
him?
okay. The shawarma guy is a TikToker who blew up. A little bit after me, he blew up, and he's known for loving food, loving shawarma, and also being my dad. So
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. 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 Got you. Got you.
I enjoy collaborating with him. People love seeing it. It always gets views.
Got you.
So yeah, that's what brings in a lot of attention.
Okay.
Right.
Since
So I want to
Go
ask
ahead.
about, I'm sorry. Okay. So let's talk about your first viral video. If you could remember, what was that one video that was like, got you the followers, got you the comments, the shares, and everything?
It was my first video that I did that was like dark humor. It was kind of a controversial video at the same time. I think the joke upset quite a few people. I basically just thought one day, I think I was guessing my views were okay, but I was thinking, let me just keep it simple. Let me just stand there and just look away, and then look at the camera when the beat drops, and then I'll just
Yeah,
put a joke
I got
above my
white, I
head.
got black, what you want.
Yeah.
That's the song that goes on, right?
Yeah. So I just thought one day, let me just do that, keep it simple and see what happens. And I just put like a joke above my head. And that video, I posted it and it got taken down after 3 hours. It hit like 60,000
Wow.
views and then it got taken down. And I was so mad because 60,000 views in 3 hours was like, I knew that I was going
That's
to
a
do
lot.
well. So I thought, okay, I'll post it again. Hopefully it gets like 40K, 50K, whatever. And the video just went viral. It just kept gaining views and views and views. I think it hit like 2 million in the first day. Now it's actually my largest video with 9 million views. And that video got me,
Wow.
I think that video took me from like 50K to like 100K in a few days. It just blew me up. And that changed the whole course of my account, because after that I realized, yo, people love this. Let me just keep making this over and over
Dark
again
humor,
with a
right.
different joke. And it went crazy. So that was definitely
Right.
my
And the
first
rest is
viral
history.
moment. Yeah, the rest is history.
I
That's
hear
it.
you.
So, since you brought up the shawarma guy, okay, we want this interview to kind of be like you, but let's talk about the collaboration and you guys separate accounts. What's the name of it again, Cezab? Aya Mafia. I'm saying it correctly.
Afia Mafia.
Mafia
Mafia,
Mafia.
Mafia.
Congratulations on the success on that too.
Thank you. Thank you so
So
much.
let's go into that, okay? And why do you guys think that's so successful? Now, before to all listeners out there is a video, and I think you guys need to get that Al Marahi sponsorship. You know what I'm saying?
Facts, bro.
You guys
Facts.
need to get that El Marahi
I
sponsorship. You know what I'm
agree. I
saying?
agree.
We
But
need that.
let's talk about that. So And I want you to understand what perspective I want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it from the fans' view. I want to talk about it from the behind the scenes view of what goes in the process of making that channel and that separate account from your father, your brother, and you. Let's of course shout out AliExpress Naz, as you say in your YouTube video. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to him. You know, shout out to him. But
Yeah,
let's go behind the scenes of what
sure.
you guys are doing to make that account. You know, what was your mindset and what do you guys
Yeah.
do? And talk about the theme as well.
Sure. Yeah, we realized that, as I said earlier, collaborations, people loved seeing them. On my page, on my dad's page, wherever we did them, people loved them. They always got a lot of views. So for months we thought, why don't we just make like a family page? Why don't we just do that? And we were hesitant because I don't know why. When I think of like family pages on YouTube and stuff, to me they're kind of cringy. They're just like they don't appeal to
They
me.
cringy. They cringy. Speak the facts. Speak the
Yeah,
facts.
like Ace family, that kind of I didn't want to be Ace family, you know. Like no offense to them,
Mm.
that's just not what appeals to me. So for a while we just didn't do it. But my dad kept pushing for it. He was like, we should make it, we should make it, we should make it. And I was telling him, I don't think it's gonna do that well. I think we're gonna get maybe like 100,000 followers by the end of the year, which is that's pretty nice. But you know, I was thinking, why don't we just make the collaborations on our own pages and we can split the 100K between us. I can get 50K more, you can get 50K more. That's better, you
That
know.
was smart. That was smart.
Yeah, but I mean, I was wrong in the end. So he was a lot smarter than I was because we finally made our first video, and it did really well. Actually, it got 300,000 views, and we were expecting it to do well because we knew that collaborations they get a lot of views. So we were expecting it to do well, and then we came across this one comment that said, "How are you white but your sons are black, and you're English," or something like that. And I was just looking at that comment. I was thinking, we need to reply to that. I don't know what we're going to say, but we need to reply to that. And then my dad suggested the idea of him just having coffee, and then he pours milk into it. And we were like, okay, that's kind of funny, I guess. And we talked about it more. Then we just sat down, got the Almarai milk. They need to sponsor us, by the way. I don't know how they haven't contacted us. Like that needs to
Right.
happen for real. And we just,
Cut
we,
the
For
we
real.
just
check,
made,
El Morai. Cut that check.
get that bag. Let's go. For real. And we just made that video. And ever since then, we every day basically we sit down for some time together, and we all just think of ideas, think of what could be funny, think of what we
Right.
can make next, and then we film it and just post it.
Yeah, that video went everywhere. I'm like the shade room. I'm waiting. Like, where's that video? Yeah, that video went
Yeah.
everywhere. Like, it's
Crazy.
incredible. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
23 million views, which is more than
Wow.
my biggest video and my dad's biggest video combined. Like, if you go to our
Combined.
hashtags now, if you do hashtag MixedNaz and hashtag Rahman Afia, it's all just our family channels videos that come up first because they get the most views. So it's
Right.
just been amazing, honestly.
And so
Yeah, I
let's-
also like that, when you make that the Peaky Blinders theme in one of your
Yeah.
videos, when you guys stand, it's incredible. It's incredible.
Thank you. Yeah, we're inspired by Peaky Blinders, Guy Ritchie films, just being cool in our suits and our hats. People love it, so and we love it too. So we just enjoy making them.
Got you. So I want to, before we change a little bit or go to a different topic. Now, you guys said you guys sit down and come up with ideas, okay?
Yeah.
So what does that entail exactly? Like, let's
Yeah.
go through that. Let's go through that stage of coming up with ideas.
Sure. Yeah, well, the main thing we do is we look at what comments we're getting. A lot of our content is just replying to comments, whether they're funny comments or just like racist, ignorant comments. We just look at all the comments we've got and we try to find one that's like worth replying to, one that we could just make a funny response to. So that's like the main thing we do. We look for comments. If we can't find one, then we just think, okay, let's make something original. What could be funny? What haven't we done? And we also, we kind of like base our content off what people are commenting. So a lot of people love dad jokes. We didn't think people would love dad jokes, but they do. So now we're going to make more content about the dad jokes, So
Yeah,
we
you gotta
look
give
at
people what they want.
yeah, if the people want more dad jokes and we like the dad jokes too, then we'll do it. So comments is the main thing that fuels our content. That's the main thing we look at. So every day we just meet up, we all look at comments on our phones and we just say, okay, this comment right here, let's reply to it, film it, post it, and see how it does.
Got you.
Right. So that's a good thing about TikTok. The interactions between the fans or the followers, the comments, it's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. It's better than any other platform, in my opinion. Like even Instagram, it is pretty difficult to keep up with the people who are trying to contact you. But on TikTok, it's just so much easier to be in contact with your followers. Sometimes somebody will DM me on Instagram I don't reply, so then they'll go to my TikTok and comment saying I DM'd you, and because of that,
Yeah,
I'll go to my Instagram and check it out. So
right.
TikTok's definitely the best platform for actually communicating with your followers.
I agree. I agree.
That's for sure.
Just for listeners, I will say a quick note. He does answer DMs because, like, he answered me very fast for to come on this show. So we have to give you credit because I wasn't sure that you would respond or not. Because I like to
Yeah.
send emails. But yeah, another thing I wanted to ask you, and this is going to tools in part, but you said even with an Android you can make it. Okay, on I believe the
Yeah.
MYM podcast. Yeah,
Yeah.
MYM
Even
podcast.
with an Android, you can make
Even
it.
with the
Yeah.
Android, you can make that, and I love that energy. I mean, I'm an iPhone user. I'm an Android hater, but I love that you could yeah you could say that and you be confident about that. So let's
Right.
go into the tools that you guys are using to make these videos, okay, and this content.
Yeah.
So let's talk about how you started and what you guys have learned as a family and as a team,
Mm.
and what seems. And when I say that, I want you to go like what apps you're using and tie to your phone,
Right.
what settings, stuff like that.
Yeah. So I started with an Android. I had just a simple Samsung A70. It's a decent phone, to be honest, and the camera is actually pretty decent for a phone of that range. But what we learned is in apps like Snapchat, TikTok, whatever else, Android cameras don't do well. The way the apps are made, they're made for iPhone cameras because there's only a few iPhone cameras. Like there's iPhone 11, 12, whatever. Android, there are literally tens of thousands of different Android cameras. So what these apps do is they can't edit the apps to fit every single Android camera the way they can make it fit every iPhone camera out there. So I don't know how they set up the settings of the apps, but whatever they do is the Android cameras just look like crap. So even my dad, he has like one of the best Androids you can buy. His TikToks don't look good when he films. My bad. His TikToks don't look good when he films on his Android. So we realized iPhones just make TikToks look better. That's why I ended up getting one. My dad ended up getting one. And now we just film all of our videos in TikTok. We don't use any editing apps. We don't use anything else. We just keep it simple.
So hold up. So you're saying that you guys have to go spend money on iPhones just to make better content?
Yes, but to be fair, that's money we made from brand deals and TikTok ads. So in a way, it's like
Yeah, yeah,
TikTok's,
yeah, 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 yeah. I understand what you're saying, but I'm just
So
saying that. So you had to go pick up those iPhones. So you guys are an
yeah,
Android family that had to convert because of the content you're making. Okay.
yeah,
That's a
yeah.
drastic change right there itself.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I've never been a big fan of Android. I used to have an iPhone 6, and then I thought, let me get an Android, switch it up. Way before I made TikToks, I didn't really care what my camera looked like back then. But when I started making TikToks, and the bigger I got, I realized I would sometimes make a video on my Android phone. Like I'll make a TikTok, and
Right.
something would go wrong. Either I'll press one button and the whole thing just crashes and deletes my video, and I'll get so mad. Or like I can't make videos at nighttime because the darker the room is, the worse the camera looks. Whatever
Yeah.
reason, I just realized I need the iPhone, and that's what I ended up getting. And apart from other equipment, we use a simple ring light for the family videos. Me personally, I just go to my room upstairs where there's a big window, lots of light. I film at daytime. That's just how I do it. We keep it simple. It's all filmed in TikTok with either the ring light or just natural lighting. So
Mm.
yeah,
Got you. Got you. I like it. I like it. I like it. I
thank
like
you,
it.
man.
Okay. Let us go to. We're gonna actually before we go there, I want to ask you some questions. Okay.
Okay.
We call this segment social media reports and studies. Okay. So this is be arranged on all platforms. What is your beef with TikTok?
Might be um, the algorithm, bro. The algorithm is so like frustrating because I think the thing that makes TikTok appeal to so many people is also the thing that kind of drives people away, which is how easy it is to blow up. But at the same time, it's equally easy to just die out. So you can post a video, go viral overnight. Bella Porch, the girl that just like bobs her head up and down
Yeah.
and puts music in the baggbackground, she blew up overnight. She has like one of, I think maybe the most liked TikTok of all time.
Right.
That
Yeah.
happened like overnight.
It's
She's a
over
celebrity now.
100 million followers now.
Insane. She's like a celebrity now. So you can blow up quickly because the algorithm can just make you viral like that easily. But at the same time, it can just kill you so easily. You can go from getting millions of views a day to suddenly being irrelevant. Nobody talks about you anymore. Nobody looks at your videos. And that's something that a lot of creators I know personally deal with, even people with millions of followers. Some of my friends, they used to get a lot of views, and then one day the algorithm just decides, hey, we don't like this guy anymore. Let's not give him views. And it literally
Right.
feels like that because you go from getting views one day to getting none the next day. So I think my beef with TikTok is just the algorithm, man. That's the main thing. It's unpredictable. There's no guarantee your videos are going to do well. And sometimes, for example, even if I'm having like a really good week, I'm getting a lot of views. I'll get a company that wants to make it like do a brand deal with me, and I'm like, let's go. I'm going to get them a lot of views. This is going to be great for me, and then the video flops, and that looks bad on me because I can't predict whether or not a video is going to do well. The algorithm will just decide. So that's definitely
Right.
the biggest thing for me.
Right, and a part of the algorithm. What do you think about the guidelines? So far, it's people are a little bit more sensitive than they used to,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so what do you think? What do you think of that? What's your thoughts about the
The
guidelines?
guidelines, the guidelines, they're a bit tricky, especially in the Middle East. The TikTok guidelines are a little different to the American guidelines. So, for example, certain jokes I've thought of, I can't do them because, for example, showing an object like a knife would be enough for
Mm,
TikTok to take my video down because they think that it's something violent, even if
true,
it's not.
true.
I had a friend of mine
Mm,
who made a video with a prop knife, like the knife was like it wasn't real. It could like wobble, and the video was taken down.
wow.
So the guidelines are a bit frustrating sometimes. A lot of people I know, their videos just get taken down like every single day. That definitely is a factor. But at the same time, if you're smart about it, if you just know what you can and can't show or what you can and can't talk about, then you should be okay. At the same time, though, they do make it easy to take videos down. I've had a lot of situations where I made some people mad, and then they reported my video enough times that TikTok just took it down without even checking.
Down.
So
Right.
it can
Wow.
definitely be misused for sure.
Of
Gotcha.
course. Of course.
Gotcha.
Wow. So, like for example, I've seen a lot of TikToks because it's a very very big platform for people. They're still figuring out what is it about. A lot of people are still creating their account for results of quarantine, and there has been a lot of incidents where people post videos and they get viral because they stole it from other small
Yeah.
TikTokers, or get stealing their ideas, or even literally putting the same caption. Has that ever happened to you, or what's your thought
Yeah.
about that?
That's happened
Oh,
to me many
really?
times. Yeah, there was one guy who literally like took 5 of my videos word for word and just like remade
Wow.
them. And the thing is, look, it is TikTok. For the most part, a lot of the content you're going to see was taken from another creator, was reposted, was maybe somebody saw a meme on the internet and took that joke. So there's a certain level where I'm like, I understand it's just TikTok. People will tell the same jokes. People will find a joke online and put them on their videos. I mean, I've done it myself as well. I've seen a meme online, and I thought, hey, that could be a funny TikTok. But for me, the biggest thing is just credit. If I
Right.
know who made the joke, you got to credit them. If it's just like a random meme online, you don't know who made it, you can't credit them. So it's okay to just put it on your TikTok. But
Yeah,
so many
that's
times I've
fair.
seen
That's fair.
somebody like word for word take somebody's whole video and not credit them. In fact, even one time I got so mad because I made a video and it got like 20,000 views. So for me, it wasn't a big video.
Right.
But I saw on my view page a kid made the exact same video, and the kid
Wow.
followed me, so I know he saw it. And his video got like 3 million views. He had verified famous people commenting on it, and I was angry because I was like, that could have been me, but it
Wow. Yeah,
wasn't.
that is pretty
You know?
frustrating. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally
So
support, crediting other TikTokers if you're gonna at least, mimic the same thing they're doing.
yeah,
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 credit is
just
pretty
at
pretty
them.
important. It's especially in dances. People do that with dances and stuff. So,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the biggest dancers, most people can't tell me who made them. Like,
right.
who made the Renegade? I know it was a young black girl who made the Renegade.
Yeah,
I
but we
still
knew
don't know.
that after Addison Rae,
Yeah, after that, and I still don't know her name, which is a bad thing. So people don't get their credit. That's one of the biggest issues with TikTok, and you just got to accept that if you're making content. Just know
Mm,
that someone's going to take you out this sometimes, and you can't do anything about it.
yeah.
All right. So let's take a quick commercial break and we will be right
Hey.
back. Hey, influencers on the run. How are you? Can you see me? How's everything? I need your support. If you could take a few seconds to whatever you're listening to this on, subscribe, give us a like, leave a review. Let the world know that you're listening to us, and let us know you're listening to us. And by doing this, you help us reach more guests, you help us reach more people organically. And if you would like to financially support us, you can in the links via Patreon, you can by sending us donations via PayPal, and you can by definitely supporting our sponsors. And we want to thank you, Influencer on the Run, for always being here with us. We love you, and let's get back to the show. We are back from the commercial break. So, Naz, we were just on, asking about the algorithm and different things, okay? And your beef. So, what about, do you feel like you're being censored sometimes on TikTok? Do you feel like you've been either shadow banned or censored sometimes, or anybody around you? Have you seen people, do you think people are getting censored on TikTok or different things like what's been going on in the Middle East? Do you think there's like a censoring going on inside of TikTok?
Honestly, I don't think there's any kind of censoring. I wouldn't say censoring would be the right word. I mean, TikTok has been used as like an app to push political movements a lot recently, and that's a good thing. People have been kind of pushing for a lot of good causes and using TikTok to like spread that word. So personally, I haven't seen anybody being actively silenced by TikTok in that way, at least in my experience. I think it's just more of kind of like there's a bias sometimes for creators who maybe make content that doesn't appeal to everyone, or maybe content that isn't family friendly. For example, I know someone who has 1.5 million followers on TikTok, and in the Middle East, it's actually like they have guidelines for getting verified. One of them is you need to have 500,000 followers. When you hit that, you can get verified. That's supposed to happen. That's why I'm not verified yet because I haven't hit that yet. But I know somebody
Yeah.
who has 1.5 million followers, and TikTok said they would verify him, but now suddenly they've stopped talking to him. They don't want to verify him. They just don't want to acknowledge him. And his content isn't like family friendly. So there's definitely a bias sometimes where I feel like family friendly pages that appeal to everyone get more love and get more support by TikTok, such as my family page. That one's just killing it. So there's a bias in terms of what content you do, but I don't think that's anything to do with being silenced. On every platform, even YouTube, if you make content that that app doesn't really want to push out, chances are you're going to be limited in some kind of way.
Okay, now I hear what you're saying, but I remember when TikTok first started getting popular about 3 years ago. A lot of people were saying that TikTok, like for example, I forget this girl. She is a plus size girl. She's also an artist. I forget her name.
Is that
What's her
Lizzo?
name? Yes. Okay.
Lizzo. Oh, she's big on
People,
TikTok,
yeah,
Lizzo.
yeah, but before
Yeah,
she was big, they were saying that a lot of things were going on where TikTok wasn't showing their content and taking their videos down because they were not of high quality or they weren't
really.
professional. So there was that phase before where TikTok is now. I think a lot of people have forgotten that phase. A lot of people have
Probably, yeah.
forgotten that TikTok at one point would take people's videos down and not showing. I mean, I don't even have TikTok
Yeah.
and I remember this. Okay, but I guess
Yeah, yeah.
maybe you guys don't
It's
know.
true.
Okay,
It's true. Mm.
all right.
Yeah, I mean, I only joined TikTok in like the very end of 2019. Before then, I never had the app. The only thing I knew about it was just, the cringe compilations. That's all I watched. So, and most people who downloaded TikTok now, like me, said they would never download TikTok. So I think a lot of the old memes, a lot of the old trends, a lot of the old facts about TikTok, most people don't know about them. Like I wasn't aware about that Lizzo situation, which is very interesting. But my personal experience has been kind of different. But everyone has a different experience, so I can't speak for the whole app.
And before we come out of this area, this topic, what do you think about the age of misinformation and how that relates to TikTok?
Yeah, yeah. TikTok is not the best place when it comes to getting information. There's been many occasions where somebody has like said something about me, and I'm like, that's completely false. Who told you that? Like, where did you get that from? And sometimes people even mistake me for other creators. Somebody said to me once, like, oh, you made fun of Chinese people. I was like, no, I didn't. When did I do that? And then the guy was like, oh, sorry, that was another guy. That wasn't you. And his comment got a lot of attention. So there will be a few people who will believe him and will think that was me.
Right.
So, you can get a very bad reputation by people being misinformed. One person says one thing before you know it, everyone believes him.
Yeah, and exactly, and that's what made people, get canceled. So that's
Yeah,
it's a the cancel theory is very big. People just waiting to see something, and they just come at the person without even being
yeah,
sure whether that's true or not. So what's your thoughts on cancel culture?
yeah. Cancel culture is, I feel like cancel culture at its core, they have like good intentions. They're trying to cancel people who do or say something that's wrong to them. I understand that, but people in quarantine, people got a little too bored and felt a little
Mm.
too powerful, and they started getting like cancel happy. Like they'll start canceling anybody. Like this guy said one thing I don't
Anyone.
like, let me cancel him. You know, it's
Exactly. That is
like
100% true. Right.
like I
I
sometimes
agree.
I'm like, okay, fair enough, cancel that guy. That guy was messed up. Other times I'm
Mm.
like, wait, we want to cancel this person for like, okay, that's
For this,
yeah,
yeah.
for that, really, you know. I mean, people have tried to cancel me a couple times, but I just ignore it. I just move on, and you know, it's what you get if you're someone who's kind of like, you know, in the public eye, you're making content,
Yeah.
especially doing something like dark humor. Naturally, people will be kind of offended by that. I understand that, so I'm not surprised when people, you know, in this day and age, get really sensitive and offended. I don't enjoy offending people. I don't enjoy that, but there are certain times where even when you're not trying to, you end up offending people. So you got to just do what you can and hope that people don't react too badly, you know?
Right.
Let me
I even liked what you said on the all day, yeah, the podcast that you have, that you want people to laugh, now and not years from now. Like,
Yeah.
explain what did you mean by that?
I meant like, there's so many jokes. Look, so many like iconic, legendary movies that came out
Mm.
in like the 70s and the 80s and 90s. Even shows like Friends. If you watch Friends now, there are so many moments where you're like, they couldn't film that now. If they released that
Right.
now, they would get slaughtered. Like people would cancel them so quick. But at that time, that was like the funniest thing ever. So
Mm.
comedy is just is subjective, but also it needs context. It needs, you know, a time where it fits in. If you make a joke right now, we could say something right now that's completely inoffensive to like everyone. But 10 years
Mm.
from now, the world has changed. People have developed, they've made new opinions, and people grow, and it will be offensive then. But the issue is like, if all your content you're worrying about, wait, I don't want to be cancelled, I don't want to offend anybody, your content will be very basic, it'll be very boring, and it'll have no appeal to it. And I feel like you gotta have some kind of edge to you, something interesting, something that makes you more than just any other person making content that's just, you know, appeals to every single person ever.
I
So
like that.
like,
I like that.
to make the content you want to make. Don't go out of your way to, you know, be rude, to be offensive. But just if people enjoy what you're making, then that's it. It doesn't matter if a couple of people aren't happy with it, if more people are happy with it, you know?
Mm.
got you. All right,
So
let's
yeah.
move on to the segment ownership of content. And let me break that
Yes.
down to what you mean. Okay. Right now, you're making content on platforms which you don't own. Okay.
Right.
So that means that maybe if they're not feeling you one day, they're like, okay, delete. If the YouTube may be like
Yep.
delete. So what are you doing in case that happens? Like what is your are you putting your content in other places, making your own website for your content? Are you storing your content? What are you doing so that you own your content and that your content, let's say, so in that direction.
That's a very good question, man. Honestly, my main like plan for that is trying my best to grow my following on each platform. So that's why I'm making a YouTube video. I made a YouTube video today. On Instagram, I've been posting my TikToks. Even on Twitter, I barely use Twitter, but I made one anyway. Just because if my TikTok for whatever reason gets banned, which does happen, many creators I know have just got banned, like unfairly as well. It happens a lot. So if I get banned on my TikTok, at least I'll have my followers on my other platforms. So I can rebuild. I can still make content for them. But let's say I get banned on TikTok and I don't have an Instagram, I don't have a YouTube, I don't have anything. How are people ever going to find me unless I just make another TikTok account and then I'll get banned again and it'll be a
Mm.
bad cycle. So my defense is try my best to grow my following on all my different platforms. Worst case scenario, I lose my TikTok. That's okay. I still have YouTube. Lose my YouTube, I still have Instagram. So that's
So
my
got
defense.
got you. So let's bring another question. How are you, so let's say you have 400,000 followers on TikTok. How are
Yeah.
you bringing them to other platforms?
Yeah, it's
So like,
tricky, bro. It's hard. It's hard.
okay,
Like
tell me.
especially YouTube. YouTube is the hardest one to grow. I'm not sure why, but YouTube's the hardest one to grow, and Instagram too. And I realized something, which is that on TikTok, just telling your followers, "Hey, go follow me on go follow me on Instagram, go follow me on YouTube," that doesn't work. Even if they love your videos, they're not going to listen when you tell them, "Hey, can you follow me, please?" So you got to give them a reason to. That's what I've realized.
Mm.
So when I said to people, "Listen, go follow my Instagram," I'm following back some people. A lot of people would go follow me. Or if I said like
Mm.
before, "Go to my Instagram, I'm going to do a big reveal of something," and people go and follow me because there's a reason to. If I tell them go follow me, they're not going to follow me. That's not how it works. But no matter what you do, your TikTok following will always be bigger than your Instagram following. Like no matter
For
what you do,
now,
that's going to
for
happen.
now, for
For
now,
now,
for
that's that's
now.
that's the hope. I mean, it's all different as well because TikTok is so much easier to get followers that your follower count is going to be less impressive than your Instagram follower count. If I had
Mm,
400,000 on Instagram, that's insane. Like having 500,000 followers on Instagram is crazy. On TikTok is also like insane, but it's not as crazy as if I had 500K on Instagram. That's like celebrity level because the
right.
harder to get Instagram followers, people know that. So if they see you with that amount of followers on Instagram, they know you're someone huge. Same thing on YouTube. Imagine having 500,000 subscribers on YouTube.
No, that's
Crazy.
big. That's
That's
crazy.
very big. You know,
Mm,
on TikTok, of course, it's still amazing, but because it's easier to get followers, it's almost like that your follower count is less respected in a way. That's something I definitely noticed. You get less respect being a TikToker than other platforms because I can say, "Oh, I've got more followers than this YouTuber has subscribers," but people know that's harder to get subscribers, so his follow count would be more impressive, even if it's smaller
mm,
than mine. You know?
Got you. So that brings us to another question. Let's talk about branding. Okay. Because I think that still goes in with ownership and then branding also, because like you said, you stuff has been get stolen. So and that
Yeah.
also goes for your account and your family account. So how are you guys under trying to what have you learned from brand? What have you learned in terms of that branding area? And then what have you guys tried to do in order to brand yourself and branding your family account?
Yeah, yeah. Branding. I mean, I feel like you always have to have like a catch to you. You have to have like something that's either like a catchphrase or something that's like specific just to you. For example, people know me for saying haha a lot. People know me for having hair that looks like a broccoli. People know me for being like the dark humor guy. I had like my army on TikTok. People know me for the army. My dad, for example, he's known for his shawarma. So you gotta have something about you where people will be like, even if they don't remember your name, they'll be like, "Wait, aren't you the that guy? You know, aren't you the
mm,
ahaha guy? Aren't you the shawarma guy?" There has to be a catch to you. So when it comes to like my personal brand, I realized early on that people liked ahaha. So I tried my best to make ahaha a part of my brand. Even when I made merch, it says ahaha. You know, so it's like we try to find something where we know people will know us for that. So let's build upon that, and that'll kind of help us to not only have our own brand but also work with other brands. If we appeal to other brands because they know we have like a clean reputation, people love us, we have our own thing going on, we have our own growing fan base, then that benefits us, you know, in an even bigger way.
I mean, it's your signature, catchphrase. Yeah, and where did it come from? That ahaha
Yeah,
catchphrase. It's pretty fun. It's really fun when
it's
I
fun
see
to
the
say.
comments,
Yeah,
and ahaha chain. I think that what you write in the comments, right? And they
yeah,
just go by
yeah,
it. It's really
yeah.
amazing.
Thank you. Yeah. I mean, I didn't even make it myself. It's just I say it so much that people think I made it. It's from a TikTok sound. Though it's not that famous of a sound, but it goes kind of like haha wow. That's the sound. So like the context is like you're meant to be like sarcastically laughing when you say like haha.
Right,
So like I just kept saying that haha haha over and over again in my live streams in my content, and
right.
people either hated it or they loved it. Either way, it got a
Mm.
reaction. So then I
It's a
kept
merch
using
now.
it.
It's a
It,
whole
it's it's
merch.
it's merch now. It's like a part of my brand. If you don't know my
Right.
name or my face, just say the ahaha guy, and people are gonna
Hey.
know me. So it works.
I love
Another
it.
thing, two things, two more things on this topic.
Yeah.
How are you branding outside of social media?
Outside of social media, there really isn't much branding outside of it. I mean, for me, it's all on social media. I brand like my TikTok, my Instagram. I try to, you know, build my platforms separately. I try to go into places like making merch, for example. That's something I definitely want to do. Meet and greets would definitely be something I'm looking at doing. If Corona wasn't a thing, I would love to do a meet and greet right now. I'd love to go to like the different countries where I have like a big following, like Egypt and stuff. That would be something I would love to do. But because Corona being such a big thing, there's no traveling, there's no meet and greets, there's no like public meetups that much. I mean, I see my followers all the time when I go out. I get recognized a lot. People take selfies and stuff with me, which I love doing so much. But because over the pandemic, ultimately, a lot of what I do is just inside my house. I'm on my phone like all day. Like my watch time is stupidly high. Like my screen time, I mean, it's crazy.
Mm,
So everything I do, just social media, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, YouTube, whatever's out there, I'm trying to make content for it because that's the main way I spend my time now.
So another one is website. Okay, I noticed that your website right now is a link tree.
Yeah.
That's what I noticed right now. Do you have plans to make your website a content based where you have more control, ownership, and collecting data? Or what's the goal with a website?
At the moment, my goal is just I wanted to have the mixednaz.com domain because people like when I was first blowing up, I realized people are gonna like they're gonna troll me. They're gonna take my usernames on different platforms. They're gonna do it before I can. And even my brother, for example, he has the username MixedCB on TikTok. He had the mixed thing before I did. So he's MixedCB. But on Instagram, MixedCB is someone completely different because they got the username before him. So I made sure that on all platforms I had MixedNaz, 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 MixedNaz. Even to the point I had www.mixednaz.com. I don't have any plans to actually make a website. If anything, I'll probably just make my merch website like mixednaz.com. I'm gonna make like a Shopify website for the merch. So that's my plans. As for making like website for my content, realistically, I'm probably not gonna do that because I know that my views, my engagement, is just gonna be really low on my own platform. The reason why YouTube and TikTok is so good because you're using somebody else's platform, and that does, you're not owning your content. But if I wasn't using those platforms, then chances are I wouldn't get those views. So then there would be no point in it.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I think right now you're young in the game. So once you get a bit
Yeah,
more, I think the website thing will
yeah.
come in there. Now, before we move on, let's do one more thing. Let's talk about collecting data. Okay.
Okay.
And when I say collecting data, what do you understand from that?
I'm guessing you mean in terms of like analytics, my demographic, that
Okay,
kind
we're
of thing.
talking about email some of your fans,
Oh,
numbers.
sure, sure, sure.
Are you collecting that type of data?
Not at the moment, bro. At the moment, it's just kind of like checking my analytics on Instagram and TikTok, using that to understand who my audience is. In terms of like collecting data, I don't have like an email list or anything like that yet. I think a lot of what I'm doing is leading towards like my second merch drop because I dropped merch last year, and now that I dropped merch when I had like 100K. Now I have
Okay.
close to 500K, so my audience has grown a lot since then. So a
So
lot of what I'm leading towards is my
since you've
merch.
mentioned merch a lot, let's go into the segment of making money. Okay, so in the
Okay.
segment of making money, since we talk about merch, let's talk about Teespring. Okay, because
Yeah.
I know, we're gonna get there in the what's the name of that podcast? In the
MYM podcast.
MYM podcast, you said something to
Yeah.
me that I could relate with you 100%. You said, by the way, for those listening right now, please check out our sponsor, Animals of Paradise, and get your merch there. If you're in the Middle East, do contact me before you buy that if you're in the Middle East. But back to Teespring, okay? Now,
Yes.
you said that Teespring was not sending, no, that people would order your merch and it wouldn't make it in the Middle East. Now, you know how I
Yes.
know this? Do you know how I know this and how this related to me?
I'm guessing you had the same experience.
Personal experience.
Yes, because not only did I have the same experience, I was trying to make a collaboration with a Saudi model, okay, with a brand, a Saudi model, and every time we get the sample sent to them, it would somehow get lost. For some reason,
Bro.
like it would get lost,
Every
and
time, right?
every time I'm like, how is that even possible?
Yeah, yeah.
Like it's like a disconnect.
It's
So let's talk about that and Teespring and that issue you had with Teespring. So what was going on?
yeah. I mean, I don't entirely understand the postal system over here, bro. It is really difficult to work with sometimes. I've ordered so many things from America and they just don't arrive. I don't know why they just don't arrive. Like to the point now where I have to have my own PO box in America that will guarantee me like my packages will actually arrive here. So I always knew shipping to Saudi was difficult, but I assumed a company as big as Teespring that like, I know so many YouTubers use, a company based in America, I assumed cool. They say they can ship to Saudi, I'm gonna believe them. They say they can ship to all these other countries, I'm gonna have faith in them because I know they're a good website. People love them. And I went onto the website. It's so easy to make your designs. Like the prices are decent. I thought this is going to be amazing. Like this is the easiest thing ever. I don't have to worry about finding manufacturers and printing and shipping it out myself. And it was just such a bad experience when it came down to it because I would see orders on my screen and I'd be so happy. I'd be like, yes, people love the merch, they're ordering, let's go. And then like 2 months later, I would get a DM from someone saying, hey, my hoodie hasn't arrived. And I'm
Wow.
like, 2 months is such a long time. How has it not arrived? And they would email Teespring. Teespring wouldn't even reply to them.
Yeah, man,
And
the customer
it
service is
just
garbage.
trash, bro. It's so embarrassing. I assumed that a company of that size would be decent, but they weren't. They didn't even have the audacity to email back the people that never received their clothes. So that was a big learning experience for me. I realized if I'm going to do any kind of like merch, anything that involves shipping things to customers, to followers, I have to either do it myself or go with a company that I know for a fact is based in the Middle East and they can ship to other countries in the Middle East. The only like negative side to that is that it's expensive, very expensive to ship things from Saudi to Egypt to these other countries.
Really?
Yeah, bro.
I mean,
Like
it should be better now. Saudi Post isn't inexpensive.
I'm looking at my prices now. I'm speaking to this one company. I've spoken to a few people who have clothing brands in Saudi, and I want to make a hoodie that's like no more than like 100 dirhams or 100 riyals. But then shipping to Egypt is going to cost me 80 to send it. So I don't want people to spend 180 on a hoodie from me. That feels like that's too much. Spending almost as much in shipping as you would buying the actual like hoodie yourself. So that's been my
48
biggest
bucks.
worry right
That's
now.
48 bucks. That's the cost of a
Bro,
hoodie. That's the cost of a hoodie, though.
people are so
But I'm saying that like American Eagle costs 300 reals for a hoodie.
yeah,
You know what I'm
definitely.
saying? So 180, that's pretty good. I mean, I did the calculation on my phone right now. Well, that's
It isn't too much, but the thing is, when I dropped my merch the first time, I made one of my t-shirts like I think like $17. Like that was like 67. That was like 60 reals. People were telling me it's too expensive. It's too expensive. It's too expensive. You know, so it's like
yeah.
I also never wanted to be one of those influencers that had like really expensive merch that like my younger fan base like would spend their life savings on. You know, I wanted to be something that was kind of like affordable for them. That didn't look like I'm just doing it for the money. But at the same time, you are right. At the end of the day, it's not the craziest price.
I mean, really, it ain't even crazy. I mean, 63 reals. Wallah. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? I mean, again,
Right.
now I think that goes to you as a person and a creator that's saying, hey, I want to make merch. I want my fans to wear it, but I don't want it to be crazy. I'm a bit different. Spike up the price. You love me, you pay for me. You know what I'm saying? But I'm
I
like,
get that. I get the mentality. I get that. I get that.
I mean, for me doing the calculation right now on my phone and looking at it, I mean, that's a great. I mean, that's not even bad. Like, yo, mom,
Yeah.
60 reals. You know,
Right.
but so you said now that Teespring was garbage. I mean, do you still have Teespring for your fans that are not in certain parts of the Middle East, or you just
I don't, because the reason I don't is one, I don't like. I mean, I don't want to speak too negatively about the country. I'm sure it works well in America. My personal experience, it wasn't great, so I don't want to give them more business. That's one thing. But also, people
Please,
would get
people,
confused. I
if
feel
you're in
like
the Middle East, do not order from those sites. If you're in the
do
Middle East,
not order from T.
it's
Don't.
just facts. It's just facts. Like, I mean, I've lost like a 10,000 reals in business, because
Oh,
they're not able to ship to the Middle East. I mean, we're talking like 10,000 reals I could have made minimum last year, and that's
yeah.
that's half a profit, just because
There
they
you
weren't
go.
shipped to the Middle East. You know what I'm saying? Now,
Yeah.
when I ship to my customers in Europe and America, beautiful. The quality, mumtaz. But for
Yeah,
some
I had a
reason,
friend. I had a friend in the UK. My best friend ordered one of my hoodies. It came in like a week. Like
yeah,
it's just
and the
it's good in
quality
the
is
other countries.
great. The quality is
Yeah,
fantastic. However,
definitely,
there's
definitely.
like a disconnect, and they don't really care about the disconnect when it comes to the Middle East. It's like you're going, for those who are listening, it's like you have a train track, and then for some reason there's like a track that's out of place, and it just falls into like a
Yeah, yeah.
dark hole,
It
and
just
like they're like,
disappears.
no, it disappears. Like it's
Wow.
just,
Yeah, you can't
But yeah.
explain
Yeah.
that.
Take care, guys.
So
Take care,
we're,
listeners.
we talked about merch. What other ways have you made money from uh, from social media, making money on social media and online in general?
Yeah, it's mainly just like brand deals and working with companies promoting something. So a company might approach me and say, "Hey, we have this event happening. Hey, we have this product. You know, we'll send you a product that we want to advertise. Use it in a video, that kind of thing." Clothing brands as well.
All
I
right,
work with a lot of clothing
that's too
brands.
casual. That's too casual. Let's talk about the first
Okay.
one. The man's like I get a few here, I get a few there and there. We understand, but we want you to tell it from the perspective of those who will one day be getting it. And so let's talk about your first deal. Let's talk about your
My
first. Who
first
approached you first?
my first deal, I don't know if it counts as a deal because I didn't get paid for it, but
Okay.
it was a clothing brand that sent me a hoodie. They wanted me to wear it in a
What's the
video.
name?
The clothing brand's called Worldwide Worst Work.
Okay.
That was like the my first kind of like I said, I wouldn't call it a deal. It was more kind of like they were a fan of me. I was a fan of the clothing brand. I I commented on one of their videos that I liked their hoodie, and they were like, "Okay, cool, we'll send you one. You know, wear it in a video, make an Instagram post about it." And that was like my first kind of experience actually getting something and promoting it.
Gotcha.
So,
Perks
so
of being
that
famous.
yeah, that's a perk. You get at the beginning when you're first growing, you get a lot of free stuff because if you're smaller companies and brands, they're less willing to actually pay you. Let's say you have like 50,000 on TikTok, which is a very nice amount, you know. But there might be a lot of brands who are looking to pay the bigger creators who are like verified with like 1 million followers and stuff. But it's easy to send somebody a free hoodie or a free T-shirt or a free product you want to sell, free headphones, whatever. So if you're just starting out, you're influencing yourself, expect a lot of free stuff at the beginning. And the bigger you get, companies will approach you. And it's also, a matter of like knowing your worth. No matter how big you get, there'll always be people who will think you're cheaper than you are, who will
So how
want to
much are
send you
you
free.
worth? How much are you worth, MixedNaz? How much you worth? How much you worth, MixedNaz?
Yeah, we
Talk
want to
that
know.
talk. Because no.
How much am I worth?
But before we go to how much you worth, you said that okay, it started out with a free one. So what was your first paid one? And let's be transparent for the people.
For the people.
Let's be
For the
transparent for the
influencers.
people. Okay.
My
For the
first
future influencers.
paid one.
Yeah.
My first paid one was like 1,000 reals for my first one.
From who? From who?
For me, there was a company that wanted me to promote an event that was coming up. So we started at 1,000 reals. I did that for them, and then my relationship actually continued with them as my page grew. And so the next one was $1,000, which is like 3,700 reals.
Boy, I know you were
So
feeling.
yeah,
I know you were feeling yourself. I know
Definitely,
I was like,
the game is obviously stepping up.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's like yeah. Go on.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead, brother. Don't let me cut you off. Go ahead.
I now it's like between like $1,000 $2,000 if it's kind of like we're talking about making a video promoting a brand or using a product. That's kind of like the amount I work with. And there are companies that aren't willing to work with that. A lot of people don't trust TikTok as much as these other platforms like Instagram. It is a newer platform, so it is younger. People don't understand it as much. But like I said, it's about knowing your worth. If I have 400,000 followers and I'm going to show my followers a certain product, I got to benefit that. Because if I promote, let's say, a hoodie for free or for, let's say, like a cheap price, a cheap fee, that company might make thousands and thousands and thousands off of my followers while I make nothing.
Exactly. Talk that talk.
Right.
Talk that talk, brother.
Yeah.
Listen. We ain't disagreeing with you. We understand what you're saying. We just want the world
Yes,
to know.
sir.
We just want the
Yeah,
world to
yeah.
know. Now,
sure.
but okay. So, what was some of the ones you've enjoyed the most? Some of the brand deals that you enjoyed the most?
Enjoyed the most. I think it's probably the clothing one. I've worked with a few different clothing brands now. Just getting clothes from like local brands and stuff. There's something I enjoy.
Who are those brands?
Yeah.
Huh? Who are those brands?
Nothing. No big brands. I'm trying to get in contact with like the bigger brands over here. I see a lot of people working with like
true.
yeah. I see
But I'm
people working
saying-
with like American Eagle and stuff. I'm trying to get in contact with them. For me, right now, it's mainly just like local brands who start in Saudi and they like my content. Maybe it's a young guy who just made a clothing brand for the first time. He'll send me stuff, give me some like
So
my
you don't
money
remember,
for that.
you
ad
don't
and
remember
stuff.
any of those brands' names?
No, I remember them. Worldwide Worst Work, Living My Best Life. There's a few brands that I definitely work with.
Okay.
Like we know that also you love sneakers, that's for sure. Yeah, you said it
Yes.
many times. So had you have any deal, with any sneaker company that
No.
hooked you up?
No,
Wow.
I would love one. I mean, one company hit up my dad actually and said to him, "Look, we want to send you some Yeezys." To my dad, I was like, I had to pay for my Yeezys and he's gonna get some for free. That's not right. I mean,
Right.
but they never sent them in the end. I don't know what happened there, but yeah, I haven't got any sneaker.
That could have been your favorite, deal if it was about sneakers, wouldn't it?
That'd be sick.
I see.
So let's talk about other ways you make money from social media before we move on to different. What are some other ways you're making money off of digital, off of the net? Let's say.
Space.
There's three ways to make money. There's TikTok lives, merch, and just brand deals. We already spoke about merch and brand deals, so the last one is lives. That's it. Unfortunately, in America and in a few countries in Europe, you can get paid for views now. It's called the TikTok Creator Fund. You get paid for views. If you get 1 million views, I think you get like maybe like $1,000. It's not a crazy amount, but you get paid for it. In the Middle East, as usual, we're late to getting updates and all kinds of cool stuff. they just don't want to pay us yet, so we don't get paid for views. The only thing we get paid in from TikTok is from TikTok lives. You go live, people send you gifts, kind of like Twitch. That turns into money. But even then, when somebody buys a gift and they send it to you on TikTok, TikTok takes back most of the money anyway.
Right.
So yeah, they take a big percentage. Even now, bro, they have this thing they've introduced to some creators where, Cameo, the app where like you can buy like clips from celebrities, like
Of
personalized
course.
video. Now TikTok have a feature like that on their app. I haven't got the feature yet, but I have a friend that does have that feature, and you can get paid for making personalized videos for your followers on TikTok. But the catch is TikTok takes like 2/3 of the money from you.
Wow.
So TikTok just isn't the app. If you're looking into making money from social media, the app you want to go for is Instagram, not TikTok. Because trust me, no matter how big you get on TikTok, you're gonna make more money from Instagram. That's just mostly going to be the case. That for the most part, unless you're working with a big brand who wants you to make a series of TikToks for them, then that's okay. But even with me, a lot of my deals and stuff is posting on my Instagram story. That's another thing. People, they pay for like a shout out and stuff. So TikTok, they're not paying me. It's not the best app for that.
That is not bad for that. Hmm.
Yeah,
Got you.
for sure.
All right. Let us take a commercial break. We will be
Yes,
right
sir.
back, ladies and gentlemen. Influencer on the run. How are you? While we're taking this quick commercial break, if you guys could spare a few seconds to either leave us a review on wherever you're hearing this, leave us a comment, email us, let us know how we're doing and how we can do a better job. If you're able to financially support us, subscribe to our Patreon, send us a PayPal donations or other links which are below and how you can support us financially. You can also check out our sponsors, see what they got. They got quality stuff that's worn around the globe. Just like we're listening around the globe, Animals of Paradise is worn around the globe. And let's get back to the show, but most importantly, thank you, you influencer on the run. Oh, let me get back to the show. We are back from the commercial break. Influencers on the run. While we're back from that commercial break, please take a time to make a review on whatever platform you're listening to on, whether it's be Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, etc., etc. And definitely go to right now. If you go to MixedNaz and you DM him, say you heard him on Influencers on the Run, he might
Yeah.
follow you back. He just might.
I mean, I didn't say
Gotta
that,
try.
but like,
He just might. Okay. Listen. A better thing to do is go buy some merch. You know what I'm saying? Go buy some merch.
Yes.
Leave some comments, engage. Tell them what you learned. Now, since you're on our show, we know you yourself. You have your own podcast called All Day.
yeah,
And I'm not gonna lie, I learned a lot from one of those episodes from the guest who was talking about steroids and him fighting a law case. I forget his name, but definitely that was.
Mark
I mean,
Hunt.
yeah. So let's talk about your show and how that came together and how are you and what goes on behind the scenes of
Yeah.
that show.
Yeah, it's something that kind of like came up unexpectedly for me. I've never really been like a podcast guy. Even for me, like being on podcasts is something that's like was so new to me. I never expected to ever be on a podcast at all until I like started doing well on TikTok. So I never thought I'd actually like be a part of a podcast as well. But what happened was I got a DM. No, actually, I had a Zoom meeting for my followers. It was on my live on TikTok. I did a 24-hour live. I was live for the whole day. So a part of that was having a Zoom meeting with all of my
Pandemic
followers.
boredom, boy. 24-hour live.
Facts.
It got him to last for 24 hours, guys.
That was
You know?
crazy. I slept for so long afterwards. It was insane. But a part of that, like to cure my boredom and to make sure people were entertained, was having a Zoom meeting. So I had a Zoom meeting. Only 100 people could join at a time, but it was still fun. And one of the viewers, he came on and he was like, "Yo, I have a podcast." Young kid, like 13. He was like, "Yo, I have a podcast. Do you want to come on?" And for me, I never say no to anybody who has a show or has like something they're doing, and if they want me on, because one, for me, it's an honor. Like doesn't matter how many followers I have, somebody makes something and they want to have me on it. That's dope to me. So I said, yeah, bro, let's do it. Hit me up on Instagram. And so I ended up coming onto his podcast. I was on an episode. We had a good time. I liked the kid a lot. And he actually said to me at the end, he was like, yo, do you want to be a co-host? I was like, being like making podcasts isn't my thing, but you know what? You seem like
Give
a
it a
nice
try.
kid. I'm gonna give it a try. I've never done it before, and like there's no harm in trying. And it's actually been a really fun experience, man. Because this kid, he's something special. Like he has like so many contacts, so many people that are helping him out. He just has like such a good thing going on. That for me, being a part of the podcast has kind of been a bit eye opening for me because I realized, hey, I was thinking to maybe like say no to this thing, but I said, hey, let me just take the chance. Let me just say yes to it. And ended up becoming good friends with him, making a bunch of friends along the way. And I mean, look, we're all new to making podcasts. It's not the best podcast yet. We're trying our ways to improve it, to
No,
get new
we'll say
guests
the,
on the
the
stuff.
audio quality is good. The audio
It's
quality is
incredible. I was like,
it's
wow,
really
I
good.
could.
So maybe you should rethink that. Cause I learned a lot just from listening to that one episode about the dude talking about people in steroids in the UFC. A lot of things I didn't know about
Yeah.
UFC. So I was like, wow. So
True.
I think
I'm glad you enjoyed it, man.
maybe because like you are in it, you're like, you know what I'm saying? But outside looking
Right.
in, it looks, the quality
Yeah,
is
I
good.
mean, don't get me wrong, bro. I love it, but the thing about me is I've always been a perfectionist, and my family gets annoyed by it. But like, if I'm working on something, I want it to be perfect. It has to be amazing, otherwise I don't want to be a part of it. That kind of thing. So no matter what I do, there always has to be
annoyed.
for real. But like, even with the family page, bro, I'll be like, no, we have to make it this way. It has to be perfect. It has to be like this, like that. And like I said, some people get annoyed by that. Like, but at the end of the day, I'm trying to go for perfection in everything I'm doing. So that takes, critiquing myself a lot and holding myself to a higher standard than other people hold me. So that way, what the content I end up making is something I'm really proud of, something that I enjoy. So even with my podcast, I love it, man. But every day I'm thinking, how can we improve it? How can we make it better? Who can we get on? That's like a constant thing in my head. Because if I get comfortable knowing that it's so good anyway, then there'll be no improvement. I'll just stagnate while someone else will come along and make it better than even I
Right.
can.
You said the
So
kid was 13?
yeah, 13. Yeah,
Wow.
King Mohamed.
That's so
Yeah,
impressive, honestly.
he's gonna
I
blow
mean,
up.
you guys are
Trust me.
doing great. I mean, honestly, I applaud you for that. You keep going.
Thank
You
you.
keep moving forward. You get there.
Definitely shout them
Thank
out,
you.
man. Let
Yeah,
the world
shout
know their
out.
Yeah,
names, man.
shouts out All Day Podcast made by King Mutman. Life of Michael, who is a rapper. He is killing it right now. He just dropped a song with 200,000 streams.
Uh,
We have a lot of fun with it. So shouts
Shout
out
them
them.
out. Shout them
One of my
out.
boys.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice. You have any
Incredible.
questions, Miss Sezab?
Yeah, I actually have. So recently you have been listed on the famous birthdays website. Ain't that true? So we
Yes, yes.
famous up in here, right? So how do you feel? How do you feel? What was your reaction when you figured out you were on famous birthdays? That is a very,
Yeah.
big website where they have every, once you made it, you're just there,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
because sometimes they even have, information is written about you. So
Mm.
how accurate were those informations, and what was your
Yeah.
reaction when you saw that?
Well, I actually thought it was fake at first because they emailed me first, famous birthdays. They actually emailed me. They said, hey, we noticed a lot of your, I think it's just like an automated email they just send out, but it basically said a lot of your fans are searching for your username on our website. So we've gone ahead and we've made a profile for you. I was like, that sounds kind of fake. I'm going to ignore that, but I checked the email out. I realized, hey, this is actually famous birthdays email. This is legit. So then I replied, I was like, sure. What do you need from me? And they asked for if they could take photos from my Instagram and put it on famous birthdays. I was like, sure. And they filled it out for me. The information was kind of accurate, but at the same time, it was just kind of it didn't make much sense. They put he once duetted Charlie D'Amelio. I'm like,
Yeah,
I
I was
don't,
like, where is that video? I'm like looking for
but I'm like that was a weird thing for them to just mention. They just kind of
No,
but in
but
the
they
sense that
had
I
to
did,
put it with Charlie. She's big as
yeah,
well,
yeah.
She has to
They
be
had to mention
associated.
that. And also I think they have an option where you can add information yourself. So I could go and
Okay.
I could edit some of the things they said
Oh,
about me, corrected it.
cool.
And it's the craziest thing ever. I don't know how I got on famous birthdays. I don't know anybody else is on there, personally. So it's a flex. I can tell my friends hey, Are you on famous birthdays though? No? Okay. That's it then.
But yeah, I
Right,
think
right.
you might want to go on there and edit it and add your links and everything, so your SEOs become much better. Definitely,
That's a smart idea. If they'll let me
Mm,
like add links to it, I'll definitely do that, bro.
yeah.
That's smart actually.
Right.
right.
Because like I would say like, when we did a lot of research on you, but we like to make sure we research our guests, because we don't want our guests to know that we just like,
I like
hey,
that.
you
I
know,
like that.
we want them to come up there and be like, yo, we know what the heck we're talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
Yeah. Yeah.
exactly.
Okay. So definitely, in that saying that, a lot of you cover for TikTok, the MYM podcast, it wasn't directly to their podcast, but it was like an RSS feed that got us from you on there from your name. So
Really.
definitely, you definitely want to look at your SEOs and see what's going on to make sure people can find you
For
better.
sure. For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Cezab, you got some questions?
Right. So yeah, I had the last question for me. So we're on TikTok, and every month there are new trends. So I want to ask you, what kind of what's your favorite type of content that appears on your FYP? If I might ask, is
Right.
it dancing, singing? What kind of content does MixedNaz prefer the
Yeah.
most?
Definitely not the dancing. That doesn't. That's not what I like watching. For me, it's just I think content creators similar to me would be the best answer. Like people who are making
Mm,
comedy, people who are doing like funny trends. Because I'm on TikTok a lot of the day, and
mm,
like what other people post kind of inspires me to think of like other jokes that I can do, as well as I try to make content that I myself would watch. Like if I'm not going to
mm.
make a video that I wouldn't watch myself, so what I make has to be something I would watch. So what ends up happening is the content I enjoy watching is similar to the content I make. So my For You page is just a bunch of funny jokes, people just being dumb, the dumbest trends ever, the weirdest sounds. And
Right.
from that, I just get inspired. I just pick out sounds. I see a joke. I'm like, that's funny. Can I do something similar to that?
Mm.
So I just enjoy comedy.
So we
That's
might
it.
never see MixedNaz dancing in some of those trends. Or
I mean, I only know one TikTok dance, the Renegade, and that's because
right.
a
That's
friend
a
of mine.
classic.
It's a classic, but a friend of mine video called me one day. He just FaceTimed me and he was like, "Listen, sit down. I'm going to teach you the Renegade." I was like, "Bro, no, I'm not. I'm not learning a TikTok dance." And he taught me.
Right.
He told me how to throw it back as well, which is kind of weird. I don't like.
Wow. The throw it back
Like
though.
he was so good at it as well, bro. He was so good at it. I was like, have you been learning?
You
Like,
had
what
to
the
throw it
heck?
back. I was listening weird.
Listen,
Yo.
everyone was doing that dance. Everyone. I'm telling it to you. Everyone was doing it.
Everyone,
All
everyone,
right.
even the guys, everyone was doing it. So
Everyone.
So how do you
yeah,
master your field? Because dark comedy, and I heard you say on MYM that you want to go into stand up. Okay. So but like how do you master because would you say dark comedy is that you? Would you say that's you or no? Or do you feel like we might generalize you? We might say that's you, and that's not be you. So
right. I mean, on one hand, it makes sense to say like dark comedy is me because some of my most popular TikToks of all time have been dark comedy. That's kind of like what I'm known for. But at the same time, if you go to my account now, it'll be pretty hard for you to find like a dark humor video that I've kind of made recently because when you've made content like one way for so long, you start to change and you start to realize, okay, so I've done that one topic for so long now that I got to try something else. So I think the way to categorize me would just be comedy in general. Like I do dark jokes sometimes, but I also do relatable jokes, jokes about being in the Middle East, jokes about being mixed, jokes about
got
everything.
you.
So
So
comedy,
comedy. So how do you
yeah,
master your craft of comedy? So
master my
and but-
craft.
and before we go to master your craft, we heard you say you like Dave Chappelle. We heard
Yes,
you. We heard because again we did our research. Okay, I was saying we
nice.
made sure.
Respect,
So
respect, respect.
let's go into that. Okay,
Yeah,
into mastering your craft of comedy.
right, right. I mean, like the funny thing is, like, any of my friends would tell you, I'm not the funniest guy in the world. Like, from any of my friend groups, I'm not the funniest guy in the group. So when I blew up, so many of my friends were kind of like surprised that someone like me was getting views off of comedy. That's like an unexpected thing. Like, I can think of jokes, but when TikTok came along, it is so easy to kind of like be a funny person because you can take a trend and you can just add something onto that, or
Mm.
you can like see a meme and make it funnier. Like it's so much easier to kind of like add onto a joke that already exists, and TikTok's kind of like that's the core of TikTok. You take a funny trend or a funny sound, and you add a joke on top of that. That's why stand up is so different, because Dave Chappelle, he has to think of his jokes from nothing, from scratch. He can't add a funny sound to it. He can't add a funny trend to
True.
it. It's like a completely different thing.
Yeah, a lot of the users of TikTok, they have the same sound. It's up to you to put the caption and how funny it is, and
Yeah.
based on that, you get the views, you get the following, and the numbers and all of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, like, comedy for me, I love comedy, but if I got up on stage right now and tried to make a whole crowd laugh, it's not gonna go great because like my comedy is like online social media, TikToks, Instagram kind of humor. It works for my audience. It works for TikTok,
Respect.
but
Respect.
I don't think of myself as like a comedian, to be honest. I think of myself as someone who makes jokes online and people like it.
Respect. Not many people will say that. So I respect you for saying that.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Respect. Now, where else did I want to go? Where else? Where is my notes? Where is my notes? I'm messing up.
Nah, you're good, bro.
Any
You're good.
questions? You got any questions, Sezab?
I'm listening. I want to see what you got.
Yeah,
I'm
talk
cool.
about. So we know you're on TikTok. We know you're on YouTube. You've made almost 4,000 subscribers on YouTube. That's a very good job in this day and age.
Congratulations on that too.
Thank you.
Let's talk about. Are you on Clubhouse?
No, bro. Honestly, I don't really know what Clubhouse is. Like everyone I know has it, and I'm like, I don't know what that is, man. Like, I don't know why everyone's on it. What is it? Like, tell me about it.
So I would say it's a Zoom without. It's a Zoom.
It's similar to the podcast thing, honestly.
Zoom
Okay.
without video. Zoom without
Right.
Okay.
everybody.
Like one big audio call.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
One big audio call. So let's say, for example, you. Let me not say that on this podcast. Well, let's just have a topic, and then somebody goes and says something, and then everybody starts putting their own opinions.
Yeah.
Okay. Now,
Okay.
what have been some of the dark sides of being a TikTok person?
That's a good question, man. That's a good question. Darkside is, I would say, like, your reputation is kind of like on the line. People will watch your content and will then assume you're a certain type of way because of the videos you make. So a lot of my content, like I said, dark humor, some people get offended by it. So then some people will assume, oh, Naz is racist, Naz is this, Naz is that, just because of like a few jokes I've made, and like that wouldn't be the case at all. But because someone saw one video of mine, they've judged my entire personality. They know now moving forward, this guy is like that. So that's the dark side. People will judge. People will assume you're a certain type of way. In fact, people will come to my live streams sometimes, my own followers, and they'll be like, "You're a lot nicer than I thought you would be. I thought you'd be kind of like a rude person because of the videos you make."
Because of
Which is it's awkward for me to be like, "Yeah, thanks, man. I guess I'm kind of nice." Like I don't know what to say back to that, but people will just assume who you are based on your content, and that is a negative side of it because people will think you're a certain type of way, even if you're completely the opposite. That's the dark side. The other dark side is just mental health. Like you can get affected by it
right.
like, in a crazy way, either because you don't get the views anymore and suddenly, you feel insecure about that. Or maybe you get a lot of hate. People in your comments and your DMs are sending hate your way.
It's true. It's true.
You can get,
there's a lot of people you got. Yeah, go on. Sorry.
yeah, I was saying you can get so much hate on the internet for even just being yourself. People get like body shame. People get, racist comments all the time. Like I get people who DM me. They'll just be like, "Hey, you're my favorite N-word," and I'll be
Wow.
like, "Why, bro? Like, why would you even say that, man? Like,
You don't have
what
to.
I'm like, you don't have to say that to me, bro. like if I'm your favorite, who's your least favorite? This is
Wow.
weird, So like, there's a
Yeah,
dark
I
side
feel like
to
you
it.
have to have a thick skin when you go and create contents, and not
Yeah.
make people stop you from creating them. There's definitely
Yeah.
the great, the dark side of TikTok.
Yo, that was like, I'm your favorite.
People be DMing a lot of people these type of things, man. Like it's
Yeah.
insane. It's insane.
Yeah.
And
So,
sometimes not even DM. Sometimes it's right in the comments, and people are just reading it, and they're like, "Oh yeah," they're hyping the hate. It's
yeah.
bad. It's bad.
Yeah. So if you're someone who like isn't able to handle that, then the internet will be a very bad place for you. So you just have to be mentally strong and try to roll the punches. And if you can't handle it, then it's just a matter of like maybe it's not best for you to put yourself out there yet until you can handle it. For me, I can
Exactly.
handle the hate, so I can take it. You know, I won't lie. Sometimes I will look at comments, and if it's a bad comment, it'll just play in my head all day, and it'll either annoy me or make me kind of sad, whatever. So that definitely does happen. That's
So
the dark side.
right, but so how do you deal with that type of criticism, if I may ask? Like, how do you deal with the comments that you hate? Do you have like a way of doing that, or you just ignore it, and or you just used to the
I feel
comments
like
and all
I
that?
try my best to ignore them, but at the same time, I'm somebody who I love like debating, and it's not a good trait to have sometimes because what happens is I will like see 10 positive comments and I'm happy, and I'll see one bad one, and like I will completely ignore the 10 good comments. I'll just think of that one bad one, and it'll just kind of like annoy me, and I'll end up either replying to that person, giving them the attention that they don't deserve, or I'll just kind of like in a way let it affect my content if I feel like, oh, that person said my video was so unfunny. Next time I'm going to make a similar video, that guy's comment is going to like run in my head. So
Oh,
honestly, my way of dealing with it is just kind of like it depends on what kind of comment it is. If it's someone just being like rude for no reason, I'll ignore it. I'll just think that guy he's just dumb. Forget him. If it's somebody who's criticizing my content, I'll take into account. I'll think, okay, so clearly this person didn't like what I just posted. Let me think why. Let me see what they said about it. If they're just being, rude for the sake of it, I'll ignore them. But sometimes people will come onto my page and say something rude, but in a way, what they're saying it has a point. I've got people saying, "Oh, your content is this way, your content's that way, your content used to be like this, it used to be better, whatever." And I will think about that, but at the same time, I like to look at my positive comments more than my hate comments and think, okay, people like it. That one bad comment, I'm gonna try to ignore that. I'll just keep doing
right.
what I'm doing and focus on that.
Got you. Got
So
you.
yeah.
So outside, let's put our phones and digital media away for a second. Let's talk
Okay.
about you. And what are you doing in your daily life to stay active? Are you reading any books? Do you listen to shows on your phone? Outside of that screen time, and all that
Yeah.
digital life, what are you doing? Let's say to better you, or what books are you reading? What are you
Yeah.
doing outside of the digital space?
Outside digital space, man, I love working out. I used to go to the gym daily. Um, Corona came, like, bro, in 2020, the beginning, I was in the best shape of my life. I was happy. Like, I would wear t-shirts, I would fill them out. I would be like, yeah, let's go, let's go. And I was happy, bro. Then Corona,
Oh,
pandemic,
it ruined it.
lockdown. I ordered McDonald's every day. I just got so lazy. But now recently gyms have opened up. I've been going more, so I do that in my free time a lot. I try my best to kind of have like a clean diet. Doesn't always work, but sometimes it does. And also, I'm not sure if this counts as like digital space, but I'm actually like a graphic designer, so I spend a lot of time designing for myself, but also I have clients that I work with still because
Mm,
content creation is my main thing right now, but I don't like to kind of like get too comfortable because I know some of the biggest content creators, no matter how big they can get irrelevant just as quickly. Like Jacob Sartorius was at one point the face of Musically and TikTok, the
right.
most famous kid basically. He was like Charlie D'Amelio before.
Yeah.
Now he's not. People don't talk about Jacob Sartorius,
Not
despite being
relevant.
so famous. Jacob was more famous than perhaps I'll ever be. He was crazy famous. Now he's not relevant. He still gets views, but he's not relevant. People don't talk about him like that. So I don't want to get too comfortable being a content creator. I still have like my side hustle, my designing and stuff. So I spend time on that, man. I watch a lot of TV shows: Brooklyn Nine-Nine, BoJack Horseman,
Let's go,
Ozark.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
That show is amazing. I love it.
I
I
love it.
binged it like twice. It's so good.
Wow.
So yeah, that's a lot of my time. But I won't lie, bro. Most of my time really is just social media because I'm just so focused on that. Which is it's not a great thing to be always on your phone, but it is basically my career right now. So if I'm on my phone for most of the day, it is what it is. You know.
Got you. Got you. Got you. Let's say, okay, I did want to ask you, like, who are some of your competitors in that competitive space that you look to, and who inspire you to make certain content posts?
Inspired me. I think in terms of TikTok, it's definitely Basil Laughs, Big Bag of Potatoes, people, Rookie Bazaar, who I'm grateful all those people follow me and I follow them and we're friends, and I think it's definitely creators like that inspire me. The people who have like millions of followers, huge fan base and stuff, because I like to look at them and like to think, they're doing it so well. I'm doing it well in my way, but they're doing it like even better. So I like to look at their content, look at how they interact with their followers, look at what they're putting out. In fact, even with my YouTube channel, I just posted a video today because I looked at Ruki Bazaar's YouTube channel, and she's big on TikTok, but I didn't know she was so big on YouTube as well. She has like 200,000 subscribers. I was like, whoa, where did that come from? I didn't know she was that big. So then I thought, wow, she's doing that. Why am I not doing that? How am I not doing that? So then I
Right.
just decided to make my first video. So the
It was like
people
a
like that definitely
motivational
inspired me.
push for you
Yeah.
personally.
Yeah, I
Right.
realized, whoa, people are out here making moves that I'm not making, that I can make. Even on my YouTube video, you see that the quality is pretty good, right? Like my microphone's pretty good. I've got everything I
We see
need to
you.
make it.
We
I
see
just I
you.
It's
just
pretty good
don't.
right
Uh-huh.
now. I'm like,
Uh-huh.
whoa.
Yeah, we see you. We see you. We see you. We see you.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. I like how you put. I like how you put your dad in there too. When you like, is my
Yeah.
dad black? And you put your dad in there. I see you. We see you. We see
Little
you.
clickbait,
You know what I'm
clickbait, you know.
saying? We see you. We see you. You know what I'm saying? So I think definitely, I think in this day and age, it I think it's with understanding and hearing from people like you, it helps other people understand how to make it, how to go
Yeah.
about it, and how to understand because you give an honest perspective. Like you said, hey, sometimes you can be irrelevant. The numbers may not work some days. You may not know what's because you didn't think your family thing would pop off. I mean, your family
Yeah.
thing got 500,000 in less than 2 months
Yeah.
followers.
More
But
than me, bro. More than my own page. That's
right,
crazy.
so
You
so
know?
again, I think you got to try things. You got to see what's going on, and like you said, so that's great. Now, what is the future for you? What's the future of social media for you?
Future of social media. Good question, man. Honestly, relevancy is a big thing. Like I said, I'm really focused on staying relevant. That's the biggest thing for me because
Hmm.
like my like I wouldn't say my fear, but a worry of mine is kind of like missing my chance when I have the spotlight on me right now. I've got my following right now. I want to make sure that I can grow that as best as I can. Not just on TikTok. YouTube is a big thing for me, and so is Instagram. I
Hmm.
want to grow as a content creator, not just as a TikToker. I don't want to be known as just a TikToker. I want to be more than that. And the goal eventually is to make this my full time career. Just live off of this, be comfortable enough to say, hey, this is all I do now, full time. I can just
Hmm.
sit back, make content, and that's my life. But right now, I'm not in a place to do that. Like I said, I still design. I have my other side hustles that I think of as well. So the future is to get to the point where content creation is all I do.
Love it.
That's all I'm known
Love it.
for,
Talk
and
that talk. Talk that
that's it,
talk.
man.
Put that in the universe. Talk that talk.
Yes, sir.
Working
Yes,
from working
sir.
from your cell phone. That's what I love to hear on this
Yeah,
show. So
that's
that's
it.
why
That's it.
our host Cezab, she recommended that we get you, and I was like, sure, we sent you out and you
Thank you.
came. And this is what Influencers on the Run is about, is talking about that jump in our age to make it in the digital space and make a living off of that and be your
Hmm.
own boss from that.
Right. And
Definitely.
eventually never giving up, no matter how, followers you lose, no matter what hate you get, as long as you're determined and you're sure of your content and there
Of
are at
course.
least, some fans that engage with you, never give up and eventually we'll all gonna get there,
That's it.
hopefully.
That's it.
Absolutely.
Word.
So
Right.
after this interview, okay, what are you gonna do to keep scaling up what you do? What MixedNaz does? What's your the next coming months? What are your plans? What are your goals? We saw before the show, we saw your latest YouTube video. We were there before a lot of people. So just people know, you know what I'm saying? Who's
Yeah.
Hey, you're
watching?
still not subscribed though, bro. Still
When
not
you come
subscribed.
when you come slap me, I'll subscribe. When you come out and slap me, then I'm gonna subscribe. Then I'm gonna subscribe. You know what I'm saying? I'm subscribe. I'm
I,
waiting. You told me to go do something. I'm
yo,
waiting to
I'll
pull up
pull
to my
up,
house.
bro. I'll pull up right now, bro. Where you
Pull up.
live?
I'm waiting for you to pull up. I'm waiting for you to pull up, fam. When you pull up, you know what I'm saying? I'll be like, oh, he pulled up. Let me subscribe. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So
Yeah,
what's
yeah.
your goal after this conversation? What are you gonna go do to scale? And what I'm saying, and get more and to live off
Yeah.
of that lifestyle.
Content production is everything, bro. So now once a week, YouTube videos for my page. I'm gonna try and make a video every Saturday. I'm gonna hold myself to that, and the same thing for the family page. That's growing so much that for it to surpass my own page, there's so much potential there. So we're going to start making YouTube videos for that as well. We're building our Instagram. We're basically on all fronts. I'm just making content. That's my
Mm.
goal, to grow all of my accounts. YouTube videos being one thing, but also with TikToks. Ramadan came. I got a bit tired. Didn't post as much. I made my account private for like a week or two,
It's
Mm.
okay.
but
You know,
I'm gonna start posting.
we
Yeah,
right there
you know
with you.
everything. Yeah, you do your research and
We right
stuff.
there with you. We right there with you. We understand. We understand.
Yeah, yeah. So that's it.
So who should we have on our show next? You know, from you being on this show,
Oh,
who would you recommend that we have on this show next?
I think I feel like Basil Laughs would be a good one on TikTok because
Basil is incredible, man.
he's
If we had
incredible.
Basil,
He is in my opinion, he is the greatest content creator on TikTok at the moment. He makes YouTube videos, he makes TikToks, he makes collaborations. He has a collaboration channel with another creator where they put so much time into the editing and green screen and costumes and stuff.
right? And also, I like how his audience are also, from the Middle East, but also, from other regions as well. It's like a mixture of
Exactly.
two. It's amazing,
Yeah, yeah.
Gotcha.
Because
right?
he lives in the UK, but he has the audience over here, so
Yeah,
it's perfection.
yeah.
Who else?
Who else? Um, Let me think. I think Cruves would be an interesting person to speak to. I haven't seen him on a podcast before. I'm not sure if he does them, but he's someone who blew up. There was a time where I had more followers than him. He now has more followers than me. I respect that, and people love him. So I think he would be a good one. Ruki Bazaar would be another good person. Because like I said, she has a popping YouTube channel and a TikTok. She's someone who's so interesting, and she's been on TikTok for a long time as well. So she could have like a lot of interesting stuff to say. So yeah, get them on.
Got you.
Right.
We want the shawarma guy.
You on the shawarma guy?
And I'll tell you why we want the shawarma guy. Because
Tell me, bro.
before TikTok, the shawarma guy was killing it on LinkedIn. You know what I'm saying?
How do you know that, bro?
Because I do my
How do you
research.
know that?
We do our research, man. Hey,
And
we do our
also-
research.
Also, I used to live in
Wow.
Saudi Arabia, so
No way.
also I know people who know you, and I know people who know your dad. You see what I'm saying? So,
Connecting the dots.
So Sezab connected dots to you, and so, but that's why I'm saying, like, I think, and also I think the shawarma guy would be a great, because people like my host think people who are older can't make it on these social media platforms. So
Yeah.
I think it's good to get an older person's perspective, to let other
Yeah.
people who are in his age from understand that they can make it. Because
Exactly.
because the shawarma guy, he's been doing a lot all around platforms. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. He was killing on LinkedIn and stuff. You're right. When he got on TikTok, he had TikTok before me. He was posting his LinkedIn videos on TikTok. I remember telling him like, "Dad, delete TikTok. It's a terrible app. It's cringy."
Listen, I'll never
And-
take your advice. I'll never take your advice. I will never,
Bro,
ever
never.
take your advice, because
I said go to the
you
family
said-
channel, bro. The family channel, my dad, like everything, bro. Just don't take my advice. Just whatever I say, do the opposite. I told my dad, don't get on TikTok. He got on TikTok. And
We love
he-
Mr. Abdurrahman, man. He's incredible. Literally, I had my dad, being inspired by him to make a TikTok just to watch
Really?
him. So
No
yeah,
way. That's amazing.
trust me. Yeah. So it's incredible.
Right,
Okay,
so
I mean, I can put you guys in touch if you want to get him on.
yeah, for sure.
Okay,
for sure.
I can make it happen. I can make it happen.
All right. Is there anything you want to say to our people to our other influencers on the run before we get out here, who are around the world? Your links,
Right.
anything that's coming, let them know. Speak to them.
All right. I am at MixedNaz on all platforms. On YouTube, just search MixedNaz. I'll come right up. Going to be dropping a lot of content this year. Also follow Mixed Afia. And if you're an influencer yourself, just best advice, make one post a day at the very least on all platforms. Try your best to grow and, stay committed. You might be on, 100 followers for a year, but on the second year, that's when you blow up. So just keep doing your thing, and eventually, you'll make your way.
I mean, you heard the guy, guys.
Hey,
All right, influencers on the run. We will be back again soon. Definitely reach out to MixedNaz and tell him you heard him on Influencers on the Run. And also,
Yes, sir.
wherever you're hearing this, let us know, about our new co-host Sezab. Follow her, and everything will be in there. And we love you guys. See you soon.
See you soon. Thank you so much for having, for being with us, MixedNaz. It's always a pleasure. And we're hoping to see you soon, along with your dad and your brother as well. So thank you so much for
Hey.
agreeing to this.
Thank you.